Welcome to my channel. We are on day 6. Oh my gosh, are we on day 6? I hope so. We're on day 6 of Mindful December. So today's video, I'm just going to be taking a walk. So I just went to the library to pick up some books that I had on hold and to just take a little walk. So it is winter, it is cold. Particularly today, I have no idea why it's so cold this early in December, but it is. So I have on a hoodie, my hat. Oh, let me turn the camera on, then you can see me. So I'm all bundled up. I have my hoodie, my hat, my goose down jacket, and I'm just enjoying my evening walk alone. So hubby's with the girls, and so I'm just enjoying some quiet time on my own, getting my heart rate up a little and just enjoying a small walk, enjoying the Christmas lights. And see, we got a house right over here. They already have their Christmas lights up. I guess everybody does, kind of, at this point. But yeah, where am I? Oh, I'm not paying attention, and it's so dark I can't even see like the street signs. Oh yes, I gotta turn here. So I have to take a shortcut through the park, and this time of night with it so dark, it's kind of creepy. But anyways, that's not what I want to talk about today. I wanted to talk about, so just going for a short evening walk and then just picking up some books. So I wanted to chat a little bit today about utilizing the library and resources in your community that are either free or low cost to you. So earlier today, so I'm in Brampton, Canada, for those of you that don't know. Earlier today, they had a Pokemon trading card show, or I guess exhibition, or whatever, in my city. And there is no cost for entry to go to the show. And myself and my daughter, we play a Pokemon trading card game through the app, and then also we'll battle and collect cards, physical cards as well. So we collect it digitally and we collect physical cards. So we went to the trade show today. We got to see some vendors, and we picked up some Pokemon cards at the show. Some of the vendors gave out some free cards, and they had some binders and stuff that they gave to Abigail. So I'm gonna see if I could link the event. I think it's called Mutopia. Anyways, so it's free of cost to get in. So that's an activity that we did today together. So we got to spend some mother-daughter time together. Transportation there was essentially free because we used hubby's bus pass, and then there was no entry fee. So we got to enjoy that at I say no cost, but we ended up buying cards there. But just to go, it was no cost. And then I did limit our spending there. I think I spent maybe $60 combined, but we did get some plushies, and the plushies were majority of the cost. I really wanted to support handcrafted businesses and local businesses. So whenever I see craftsmanship or like art, unique art, that type of thing, I will always spend my money on it, because I feel like that's the backbone to society. We need those creative talents. And when the economy starts economying, that's usually the first place we cut costs, right? If we can't afford groceries and we can't afford rent, we're not going to be out here buying plushies, right? So I wanted to make sure that I supported her business. And I think our plushies together were $40. I'm going to put a little clip on the screen so you can see what we got. So I got a Love Pokeball, and Abigail got a cat. So literally the only thing at the show that was not Pokemon related. Of course, she found it, fell in love with it, and got that cat. So anyways, that was something that was a low cost event to us. And the second thing I did today, apart from enjoying my free walk through the park and heading to the library. I don't know if you guys could see the water. Oh no, that's not a good spot. Maybe this way, even though there's no lights on this side. It's already frozen over. That's how cold it is. It's already frozen over. But anyways. So the second thing apart from the walk is just going to the library. So I'm always a reader. I've been reading literally since I was 3 years old. And even in high school and middle school, I would spend all my Saturdays at the library. I would wake up on Saturday morning and my parents already knew where I was going. I didn't have to ask because it was Saturday. Siobhan's at the library. And I used to spend literally the whole day there. I used to get there when it opened and I would stay at the library and read, literally read, and take notes because, yes, I was that kind of nerd. I used to do essays and such for fun. So I would literally just go to the library, write my notes on whatever I was reading, read, and leave the library when it closed. And I remember there was a day, particularly the librarian was like, you know, if you get a library card, you could take the books home. And I had a library card, but it never really dawned on me why I would prefer to read books at the library instead of just bringing it home. And I realized the reason why I liked spending my Saturdays at the library is because nobody would talk to me. So I'm an introvert through and through. And when I was at home or school or enjoying sports and hobbies and that type of thing, there was a lot of social interaction. And so I never really had that time for just me or just quiet. And when I was reading and when I was at the library, I got that. And so that's why I enjoy spending most of my time at the library. So, yeah. Then as I got older and I got a job and I was able to have my own money, I realized I could make the library at my house. All I had to do was buy the books. And so I began to buy every single book that I came across. And when I say I spent all my money on books, I really want you to understand that I read every single genre of book. I would buy math books, forensic science, romance, sci-fi, literature. It didn't matter. If it was a book, I bought it, I spent my money on it, and as you could imagine, I filled up a bookshelf in no time. Then the second bookshelf, then I needed my dad to build me a third one, and then by the time I moved out and had my own space, I had like 8 bookshelves packed of books, storage containers filled with books. Books had taken over all my space, and that peace and that quiet that I used to get from books just turned into clutter and chaos because I was always walking over books, using books as coasters. It was ridiculous, okay? I didn't have the space for it, and I had no business buying all those books. So then, don't ask me what year this is, but then ebooks started to be a thing, and so I got my first e-reader. My boyfriend at the time bought it for me, who's my husband now. And I don't know if I should be saying this on the internet, but piracy was a thing back then. And so instead of having to spend all my money on books, now I could just pirate all of the books that I have and download it onto my e-reader because I could just get the EPUB version of everything online. And so I keep looking behind me because it's so dark. I'd get the EPUB version of whatever book I was looking for, and then I would just read that. So at that time, I think I was reading at a pace of maybe like a book a week or maybe 2 books a week, depending on the genre. So like 50 to 100 books a year. And so I really felt the financial lift of not spending money on all those books, because now I wasn't even just buying it digitally. I wasn't buying it at all. And so could you imagine going from purchasing 50 to 100 books a year. So 50 to 100 books a year to 0. And so I really found the value in the e-reader. So, of course, piracy is not legal. And then Pirate Bay shut down. And I was like, okay, I guess I got to start buying books again. And that's when I discovered Kindle Unlimited. And I started reading books solely off of Kindle Unlimited. And yeah, that was a great time too, because at the time they didn't have the library that they have now, but it didn't matter because I wasn't someone to want to read specific book titles. I just wanted to read whatever was available to me. So as long as it was books, as long as it was words, I'm down for the cause. And so whatever was on Kindle Unlimited was great. I used my what's the Amazon one called again? I'm walking up a hill, so for whatever reason, it's making me brain dead. Kindle, there we go. I got the Kindle. I had Kindle Unlimited, and so I would read my books through that. And the Kindle Unlimited plan at the time maybe was like $10 a month or something like that, and it definitely made it worth it. And so my spending was like $10 a month. So now we're moving into modern day. I won't get into it in this video. If you guys are interested, I'll make another video about it. But basically, somebody hacked my Amazon account and spent like literally like $10,000 on my credit card. And what happened was Amazon blocked my accounts. The scammers couldn't continue to use my credit card, but they bricked my e-reader. And I had taken a day off of work, and I was going to take a mental refresh day. I had dropped the kids off to school, and I was going to read the whole day. And then I turned on my e-reader, and it was bricked. I couldn't log in. I called Amazon, did all of that. She was like, oh yeah, we'll unbrick it once like the investigation is done. Except that meant nothing to me because I was already on my day off. And so I couldn't even enjoy my day off. And that's when I realized if I buy something on my e-reader, or if I have a subscription service like Kindle Unlimited, I don't own my books. And I don't own the property. I don't own the rights. And at any time, Amazon can just decide you're not reading it. And what really bothered me was I understand that they're protecting my account from the scammers who had already, by the way, maxed out my credit card. So too late, but at least you tried. But what did that have to do with my e-reader? Like block ordering from the Amazon website. Like, why are you literally bricking my e-reader? Like, the scammers aren't just gonna come read my books. It's not like you could transfer digital books somewhere else and they were just like, what if they steal your digital books? Like, that's not even a thing. So anyways, what was my point? Yeah, so that didn't work out, and it just made me realize that I want to own my things again. Like, I want to move away from digital. I want to move over from subscription based, and not just Amazon. So canceled Netflix. I don't really have streaming services anymore, and the only thing that I have is physical. So even movies, anime, if I want to watch something, I'll just buy the Blu-ray and I'll watch it that way. All right, so I am home now. Got my books. So as I was saying, I gave up on all the streaming sites, the subscription services, digital ownership. I gave up on all of that. And I just basically, if I'm buying something, I want to actually own it. And if I'm not going to own it, I don't want to spend my money on it. And so I was trying to think of solutions on how I'll be able to read things if I'm not buying it. And so, ding, 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 the library. So that's why I started to go back to the library. I already had the library card, so all I had to do was like renew it because you have to change your address like every year or something like that. And the library actually has a really good selection. I was worried that they're not going to have new releases. They do. Usually you have to put them on hold, but it doesn't matter because I read so much books anyways that by the time the book becomes available, I'm ready to read it, and I don't mind waiting the time because I already have literally hundreds of books to read in the meantime. So now I'm spending all my time going to the library, and it's actually better for me because when I'm buying something, I only want to buy something that I know is good or something that I really believe I'm going to enjoy. But when I'm getting it at the library, I can experiment more. So if I'm just like, yay, none of that recorded, and I don't even know what I said, so I have to say everything all over again. Yeah, so I don't buy anything digitally anymore for that reason because I don't own it. And if there's something that I do want to buy, I make a point of going out and buying it physically. So the only thing that I do buy physically now would be light novels and manhwa, and that's because I don't find that they're easily accessible even at libraries. So if anybody knows of any ways where I can get light novels or manhwa either discounted, or even if there's like some type of swap group or like trade, I'm absolutely interested. But yeah, that's the only thing that I would spend my money on in terms of books. So the other hobbies that I have is like jigsaw puzzles. I might do like one jigsaw puzzle a month at this pace right now. There was a point where I used to be doing completing jigsaw puzzles every day or like every other day. I don't do them as often anymore, but that's still a hobby that I do. So I'll do jigsaw puzzles, read, color. If you didn't see my last video, I did a color with me, and I showed some of my supplies. So I have some Ohuhu markers and Prismacolor pencil crayons, and then apart from that, I just have regular Crayola supplies. So I have like the Crayola Super Tips, just the regular crayons. Right now I've been gravitating towards crayons a lot, and I couldn't tell you the last time I picked up my Ohuhu markers, although full transparency, when I was coloring yesterday, I was thinking that I wanted to do some work with the Ohuhu markers, so we'll see that. And yeah, that's pretty much all my hobbies. So just being mindful of actually owning what you're consuming, being mindful of what you're consuming, and making sure that your hobbies are affordable and like low pressure. So I game. So I have a Steam account. I game on the computer, and I will buy a game maybe once a year. The last game I beat was Warhammer Space Marines 2, and I'm trying to beat Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. I'm stuck at the part with the Golem, but apart from that, that's the game I'm playing now. And I think I might go back to Stardew Valley, or I'll buy the Hello Kitty Island Adventure game. I'm not quite sure what I want to do there, but most of my hobbies are low cost, and that's something that I suggest for you guys as well. That if you don't have any low cost hobbies, to explore some and see if any pique your interest. Either low cost or no cost hobbies, because if you read, potentially that could be a no cost hobby, especially if your library is within walking distance. You'll be able to just walk and pick up some books at the library, so there won't be an added cost there. But having low cost hobbies, I think, is actually good for your mental space, because you don't have, if you're in a financial bind or if you're trying to save up for a large purchase, you don't have to cut back on your hobby. I often looked at people who have hobbies like I don't even want to say shopping is a hobby, because the people that have shopping as a hobby is getting diluted with people who have shopping addictions, and there is a difference. And I don't even want to mention it, because the people that are shopping addicts are just like, yeah, it's a hobby, and I'm like, no, it's not. And the people that have shopping as a hobby, their voices are drowned out, because obviously it's more interesting when you're on YouTube and you see, oh, $20,000 Walmart haul or whatever they're doing. But anyways, so the people that have expensive hobbies, so maybe like I don't know, collecting cars, or like figurine painting and stuff like that, where it could get expensive really fast. I often wonder when they're in a season of life where they should be saving, or they're trying to make a large purchase, or maybe in between jobs or whatever that looks like, they have to give up essentially what brings them joy, because their hobby is so expensive. And I feel like I kind of have a cheat code that my hobbies are so inexpensive. So no matter what season of my life I'm going through, it's easy for me to just fall back into my hobbies, because it doesn't matter my financial position. When I was on maternity leave with the girls, I was reading books literally every day. I would read a book, because you had to get up every 2 hours and feed the baby, right? And so I was always awake anyways. And so I'd read a lot, and it never even occurred to me at the time that when people have young children, they can to do their hobbies, because my hobby was reading, and I would breastfeed, I would feed the baby, and kid here, book here, I was golden. But everybody doesn't have that opportunity. So I think that's something that if you already don't have a no cost, low cost hobby, to explore that. Yeah, so I'm gonna show you what books I got at the library. I didn't read any of the books, so I won't be able to tell you what they're about, but at least I could show you the books that I got at the library and the books that I'm going to be reading. And then if you are interested in book reviews, or me talking about the books after I've read them, let me know in the comments, and I can create that video for you guys. So yeah, I'll show you the videos I'll show you the books that I got at the library. Alright, so the first book I got from the library is actually a manga, and I got the first 4 volumes in the series. I think there's only 4 released, and that's Bride of the Barrier Master. So I got volume 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I've actually read all 4 of these volumes, so I could tell you a little bit about it. So basically, our heroine in the story, don't ask me anyone's names when I ever read a story, by the way, because I couldn't tell you any character name. But in this one, the heroine and her sister are of a family who are trying to maintain their social status in this world. And her sister is able to summon, what's the system even called? I don't remember, but basically she can summon human-like beings, and she's only able to summon insects, which is seen as like the lowest form of a familiar, is the insect. And her sister's able to summon humans, and so she's seen as like much stronger and much valuable. And her parents, the parents of the two sisters, who are twins by the way, the parents of the two sisters want to be able to use the sister's status to progress within society, so raise their social ranking. But the twist of the manga is that our heroine has a second awakening, and so she's able to summon two human formed familiars, and they're much stronger than the one that her sister is able to summon. And so our hero here, he's from a prestigious family, and he's actually in charge of protecting the barriers that keep the community safe. And so he needs a strong woman to help him maintain those barriers. So to keep the barriers up, it requires two people. It requires him, who's of the family. So let's just use like the system of like nobles. So pretend like he's like the noble of this world. And he comes from like a strong family, and he needs a strong wife in order to maintain the barrier. So her secret slips that she's able to summon two strong human familiars. He finds out, and so he propositions her for marriage. And I don't think any of that is a spoiler because it happens within the first couple pages, and it's also called Bride of the Barrier Master. So clearly she's the bride of the Barrier Master. Spoiler? No spoiler? I don't know. So yeah, I was reading this. I liked it. For those of you who are interested, I write book reviews on Goodreads for everything that I read. Or if you want me to just have a more detailed review, I'd be happy to make a YouTube video if there's interest for it. But yeah, I read all 4 volumes, and I do plan to continue, and I absolutely will continue reading this series. It's really funny, and I like how the characters are introduced. But above everything else, I like a strong heroine, and not just physically strong with her powers, but in her resolve. I hate when they have a heroine and they introduce a male character, or they introduce other friends into the group, and then she loses all her spunkiness. But that doesn't happen in this story. Who she is in volume 1 is who she is in volume 4, and I mean that with her core values. The characters still do develop throughout the series. So yeah, I read volume 1 to 4, and I'm going to put that in my pile of books to return back to the library. These are the books that I picked up today on my walk. So I had them reserved at the library, and I just had to pick them up. It's called Firefly Wedding. I don't know anything about it. I got the first 3 volumes. I saw one of my favorite manga YouTubers talking about it, saying that it was a good manga, and I checked to see if my library had it. They did. And I was like, give me the first 3 volumes. So I'll likely read this tomorrow. Oh, maybe I should even do like a read with me video again or something. I don't know. But I'm definitely going to read these 3 tomorrow. If not tomorrow, definitely this week. It's next in my pile of books to read. So I'm going to read that. I got this novel. It's called Learning Curves. Honestly, I got it for the cover. I thought the cover was pretty cute. I think it's a girl love romance, just judging off the cover. I don't want to read the back. I'll put it on the screen for anyone who's interested to see what it's about. But I just want to go in blind. I think it has something to do with a college, or maybe somebody's a student and a teacher, or a student aide or something. Yeah, got that one. I got the first 3 volumes of The 3-Body Problem. So this is actually a book that my husband read. He read the novel version. He told me that I would enjoy it, and I haven't gotten around to it yet. And they came out with a comic edition, and so I was like, let me try this one. I'm not gonna flip too far back because I don't want to spoil anything, but I decided I'll try it out in this format, and then if I like it, I'll pick up the novel. So again, the benefit of the library is I could try it out, and if I like it, great, and if I don't like it, I could just return it. Oh, I almost forgot to mention the book that I'm currently reading, which is Butcher and Blackbird. So this was actually recommended to me from a friend, and I went into it absolutely blind, and I think it's about 2 serial killers falling in love. Don't quote me, but I read the first couple chapters. I posted a read with me on it. I'll link it as well. And yeah, I think they're both serial killers and they're like falling in love with each other. And if that's the case, we're in for a good time. I think it's a very interesting concept. So again, I leave book reviews on Goodreads, but if you want me to make a video about it, I'll be happy to do that as well. So we got Butcher and Blackbird. All right, so thank you for joining me for day 6 of Mindful December. Today I showed up for myself by going for a walk. I went to the library, picked up some books, and then later tonight I'm gonna end up coloring and reading some more. So yeah, make sure that you show up for yourself every day. Make sure you're mindful of the things that you do. And if you're interested in the next video in the series, or if you have ideas for videos in the series, I'll be open to that as well. Leave it in the comments, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next video. Bye.